22nd March 2020, the entire nation was going under lockdown. That's when I started working from home, as you all did. My son observed me for a week and then asked, Appa, apart from attending meetings, what else do you do? I told him I am helping others to adopt change. He asked a follow-up question, is it really difficult to change? I said yes. Kids believe parents, right? At least in the childhood. He believed my answer and left. However, that question stuck in my mind. I started thinking, is it really difficult to adapt change? Why do we resist change? I dived deep into it. Hello everyone, I am Rajshekhar Karpuram. By the way, I work as a Scrum Master, and one of my core responsibility is to enable my team members to adapt change so that we can grow continuously. Those who are not related to IT field consider it as a leadership role. I like to start this video with a famous quote, be the change you wish to see in the world. Some of you may think that I don't want to see any change in this world. Don't worry, world wants to see a change in you. For example, COVID wave 1 to wave N has changed a lot in us, the way we live, the way we move socially, all those things, right? We all expect change from others and the world we live in, but reluctant to change ourselves. When I say change, it is not the change that pulls us down, but the change that helps us to retain a competitive edge and remain relevant. Anything that takes us to the next level of growth. As a leader, it is everyone's responsibility to enable others around you to adapt change. For that, we must change at first. Though we understand the necessity to change, it is very difficult to embrace change. For example, all of us at some point in time might have joined the gym to build an attractive physique. With a great difficulty, we might have gone for a few days even and then left due to the procrastination. To understand the reasons behind this, we need to learn a little bit about how our brain works. Now you may be thinking, why do I need to know about the brain? We know that it is our mind that decides to change. To understand why we resist change, we need to understand which part of our brain is being consumed by our mind to decide to change. The oldest layer of the brain is the reptilian brain, which evolved 500 million years ago. It is responsible for instinct and survival. It controls the body's vital functions like your breathing, your heartbeat, body temperature, how the organs in your body function, and so on. It is extremely reliable. It will always serve your body in the best possible way. Its focus is to avoid pain. A threat or a fear triggers reptilian brain. It always checks for, am I safe? The middle layer of the brain is the limbic brain, which evolved 200 million years ago, and it is responsible for processing emotional responses. If you have a better hold of it, then you know how you feel and others are feeling around you. That means you have a better emotional intelligence. It checks for, am I loved or not? The youngest layer of the brain is the neocortex, which evolved 1.7 million years ago. It is responsible for our rational system, logical, critical, complex thinking, calculating and processing the written language. It checks for what I can learn from this. Because of our cognitive abilities, we tend to think that neocortex makes our decisions consciously, but neocortex helps us in rationalizing our decision. The limbic brain gives you a gut feeling about your decision. The reptilian brain makes our decision. Though reptilian brain is reliable, it is also somewhat rigid and compulsive. It controls your focus. Everything you see, hear, feel, taste and smell runs first through your reptilian brain. If it thinks something is not worth focusing on, it is neglected. To take control over the reptilian brain and make reptilian brain take a decision rationalized by neocortex, we need to know what types of triggers it has. Anything that threatens your safety or your family's safety triggers your reptilian brain. Take an example. You might have overreacted or observed others overreacting or becoming aggressive when they are driving their car. This happens because you feel threatened when others Drivers shift their gears and rise the speed suddenly and try to overtake you as it feels like an attack. This may not be a real threat. There could be a valid threat like other cars braking system failed, or driver is drunk while driving, or could be coming opposite to you in the wrong direction. Evaluate each of these threats with your logical thinking, if it is a real danger or not during your journey. All successful salespeople knew that sex sells because it stimulates our reptilian brain and influences our decisions to buy their products. Suppose we are in search of buying a new car, we tend to remember the glossy magazines with the new car and beautiful models standing next to each car. Placing a beautiful model next to a car will make the car more attractive. It will often bypass our critical thinking, thereby making us more responsive to persuasion. This does not mean that we are always helpless. The first step to guard ourselves against unwanted persuasion is to acknowledge its existence and how it works. Gaining or losing money, power, social status triggers your reptilian brain. These triggers are interconnected because money is often used to gain power and social status, and power is also used to obtain social status. At the same time, with the social status, you may have more ability to gain power and money. For example, you will be more attracted to buy lottery tickets or play online gambling games to win big money easily. You will try to find shortcuts to get promoted to next level to gain power. Whenever you are influenced to react quickly to these types of triggers, tell yourself that you will decide tomorrow. This will calm down your reptilian brain and give a chance for the neocortex to rationalize your decision. Anything that has the prospect of gaining or losing our attractiveness or self image triggers our reptilian brain. This will hinder our decision to try something experimentally because we may end up being embarrassed due to likely failure. Fear of failure stops us to take up challenges. Before starting anything new, we must consider that failure is one of the possible options. It is not going to be a solution where everyone benefits always. Food can trigger greed, aggression, obsessive, and compulsive behavioral responses by our reptilian brain, especially when food is scarcity. It will cause us to behave like animals. Hence, we must make sure we are equipped with adequate food for us and the people around us are working for us. Now we have a fair idea of the reasons why we resist change. The only solution to embrace change is to handle the reptilian brain so that our rationalized ideas or thought process is considered by the reptilian brain. As the reptilian brain's focus is to avoid the pain, we must highlight the pain points that we are going to avoid first and then go for explaining the benefits. In this way, we will get the attention of the reptilian brain and it understands that this change will avoid the existing pain. Hence, it will support the decision. For example, you want to change company. Highlight the pain point that by shifting to a new company, you don't need to travel for 3 hours, and then explain about benefits like salary hike, etc. As the reptilian brain is self-centered by nature, put yourself in the center of the topic at the introspection stage and then think about the positive impact of your decision on others. For example, if you are pitching an idea that brings a huge revenue for your company, then highlight the benefits that you are going to get to your brain. It could be as simple as receiving an appreciation mail or as big as getting some percentage of the revenue that you have generated, and then start explaining the positive impact it is going to create for others and company. The reptilian brain best understands contrast messages like black and white, good or bad, pain or pleasure. So always use contrast to demonstrate the importance of our decision. For example, we generally see a lot of advertisements of weight reduction centers with the before and after photographs of achievers. That is to grab the attention of our reptilian brain. We can see the same logic for the right things. If you want to follow traffic rules always, then you have to highlight that you will die for sure if you violate the traffic rules, and you will be safe by following the same. As the reptilian brain understands visual images, we must highlight value proposition as tangible as possible. For example, for students, the most incredible journey would be learning phase in college or schools. However, the reptilian brain will focus more on the percentage and certificates that they are going to receive. Similarly, however sincere or motivated an employee could be, if he or she comes to know that they will not get the salary by end of the month, then their contributions will be derailed. As the reptilian brain is primarily focused on its survival, it will be alerted to the changes to evaluate the danger. It will reserve its energy and stop paying attention in a normal situation. If you want others to adapt to change, then get the attention of their reptilian brain, especially at the beginning and end of your conversation, by using any of the above methods. For example, suppose if you want your team member to learn a new skill and adopt new roles and responsibilities, then instead of convincing him or her that there is no difficulty in learning this new skill, you can explain to him or her pain points that he or she can avoid at first, and then explain the benefits. As the optic nerve is directly connected to the reptilian brain, visual input has the most impact. So always use visual metaphors to captivate the reptilian brain. Try to convey your messages visually as much as possible through presentations or by describing the visuals of certain objects. For example, salespeople explain the performance of the car by comparing it with the horsepower. Even though there is no direct relation, it helps the salespeople to create an impact on us. Now we understand the triggers that can activate the reptilian brain. Exposure to such a trigger can even completely change your personality. We should not try to suppress or fight against the reptilian brain. The best way to manage your reptilian brain is to recognize the triggers it is affected by and to postpone your reaction, preferably until the next day. Once we are ready to take control over the reptilian brain, we can adapt the change. We can be the change. So that's the video, guys. I'm signing off for today. Please leave your valuable comments below. Thank you very much.